Charles. You have a race question to answer today based on your reading. So I just wanted to review the skill with you. We have done this in the classroom before, and this is a skill that we've been working on all year. But I know we were still practicing, when we started this distance learning. So I just want to show you how to answer a question using race, just to refresh your memory. And I'm also going to be doing it in the Zoom. But in case you weren't at the Zoom today or you just want to watch another example, here's another example of answering a race question. So first of all, I just want to tell you that I have a whole page of race help on my teacher page. So if you go to my teacher page, which if you go to the Marlborough Township page to start, and then you go to schools, you click Defino Central. Okay, and then you go to teacher websites, and mine is right here, so you can go to my teacher website. I also have all the assignments posted for each day on here, but if you go to the side and you scroll down, you'll see it says race help. So if you click that, I have just some resources for you, what race is, some sentence starters here, and just to get another explanation. And then I have actually an example of a race question done here. So if you do need some more help, that's on my teacher page, but I'm going to show you here as well. So just to start, I'm just going to present this start. So we have the race strategy. So I just want to review what race is. Race stands for restate, answer, cite, and explain. So when you're restating and answering, that's what we do on a normal basis when we answer a question, like an open-ended response type of question. We restate the question that's being asked and we answer all parts of the question. So we're really good at that because we've been doing that. You have all been doing that for a very long time now, a few years. So you restate, you answer, and then you move on to your citing. So you need to pick a piece of evidence from the text that explains your answer, that proves why your answer is true or how your answer is true. So you need to look back into the text. You need to pick a piece of something that the text says, and then we've talked about you have to write it into your answer using quotation marks, right? The quotation marks go around the text to show that it's somebody else's words. We've practiced a lot of sentence starters, which I'll remind you of, but one that we use a lot is according to the text. And I think with Learning Ally, you can probably do it the same way that I've showed you how to do it on Achieve, where since the text is in front of you and you're using the Chromebook, you can copy and paste that piece of evidence to make it a little bit easier for you into your answer. But you have to make sure that those quotation marks are around it then, just so that I know that it came from the text. So that's your citing, and then you explain and wrap up your answer there. So I am going to show you an example, but just another reminder of race, what everything stands for. And we've practiced a lot of these. Remember, I had like the little bookmark in the classroom that had some sentence starters for you. I had the race template that we would use to help us sometimes, and I'm going to attach that onto the Google Classroom post if you do need that. But so, in the text or on page, for example, one that we used in the classroom a lot was according to the text. I think that's a really good one to use too. So, according to the text is one you can use as well. So I am going to read this paragraph here, and then I'm going to answer the question on the next slide using race. So this is called All About Emojis. I think we all know what emojis are. You use them in text messages, on your phone, on your iPad, wherever you use them. So it says, these days, most people use emojis. There are almost 2,000 of them. You can find an emoji for almost anything. They let people express ideas with pictures. They can be a lot of fun and a good way to show someone how you feel without using words. Also, they help people say what they mean with less effort, which is a good thing. Even young kids who don't know how to read yet can understand them. So I read it once. I want to read it one more time just to make sure I understand what I'm reading, and then I can go to answer my question. And you know what? Before I read it one more time, I want to look at my question. And it says, use the race strategy to answer the following question using the checklist as you write. So it says, why does the author think emojis are good? Give reasons from the paragraph to support your answer. Okay, so I am going to read this paragraph again with that question in mind. Why are emojis a good thing? So let me go back and I'm going to read the question now. Okay. These days, most people use emojis. There are almost 2,000 of them. You can find an emoji for almost anything. They let people express ideas with pictures. They can be a lot of fun and a good way to show someone how you feel without using words. Also, they help people say what they mean with less effort, which is a good thing. Even young kids who don't know how to read yet can understand them. Okay? So I saw some things in there that I thought was a good thing about emojis, how they're fun to use and how they help people say what they mean without having to use words, how young kids understand them because they're just pictures. So there are a few things I can put in my answer here. So I have to go to my slide over here to type in my answer. And I have to add a text box here so that, and then I'm going to make it a little bigger so you can see, and I'll make it in blue, red so you can see. Okay. So I need to start off by answering the question, by restating and answering the question here. Why does the author think emojis are good? So I'm going to start by restating. The author thinks emojis are good because. There's my restating, and now I'm actually going to switch to another color so I can answer the question. Why does the author think emojis are good? So the author thinks emojis are good because I think what I got from that was they let people share their thoughts and feelings without having to use words. I also remember reading, they're easy to understand. Actually, I'm going to put that down a little bit just because also they are easy to understand, right? That's what it said in here, that they let people share how they're feeling, show what they mean. Kids can understand them. So I put my answer into my own words here. And now I need to cite a piece of evidence to prove my answer. So I know I need to use a sentence starter here. And I remember seeing in here, which is one that we used a lot in the classroom, according to the text. And that's the one I want to use here. So according to the text, and then I know I need to put quotation marks because the words I'm using next are not my own. They're coming from the text. So according to the text, they can be, let's see, what piece of evidence here would support my answer? I say that they let people say how they're feeling and say what they mean without having to use words, and they're easy to understand. You can find an emoji for almost anything. I don't really think that supports my answer. They let people express ideas with pictures. Okay, that could work. They can be a lot of fun and a good way to show someone how you feel without using words. You know what? I think that's a really good piece of evidence to prove my answer because I said they let people share their thoughts and feelings without having to use words, right? And that was a good piece of evidence to prove that. So I'm going to say they can be a lot of fun and a good way, now I have to go back here, and a good way to show someone how you feel without using words. Okay, so there's my evidence, right? I cited, I put it in quotation marks. Notice how I put my ending quotation marks because that was the end of the quote, right? So far I have the author thinks emojis are good because they let people share their thoughts and feelings without having to use words. Also, they are easy to understand. According to the text, they can be a lot of fun and a good way to show someone how you feel without using words. Okay? Now I need to explain my answer. And in the classroom, one that we like to use here was this shows or this explains. I'm going to say this shows why the author thinks emojis are good to use. Okay? It doesn't